If I asked you right now to tell your partner your deepest fear about your relationship, could you do it? Let's talk about why vulnerability can feel like an emotional free fall in your relationship and why your attachment style might be behind it. Now, if you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional, like you had to earn it or perform for it, or if you grew up in an environment where you were ridiculed whenever you expressed your emotions, your nervous system learned to protect you by hiding your deepest fear.
So now, even with your partner, opening up can feel like a threat. It's not that you don't want connection, it's just your brain is wired for survival, not intimacy. Vulnerability gets misread as danger. Your body thinks if I say the wrong thing, they might leave me, or if I say too much, they might stop loving me or make fun of me. But here's the truth. The real truth. Real love, real intimacy requires emotional risk. You can't build trust without it. So if being vulnerable feels hard, you're not broken. You're just human. And healing starts with understanding that.
Yeah, so you've probably heard the saying, right? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, we definitely love Vegas. But it's not just about secrets and wild nights. I mean, those are good too, but it's really about freedom. And if you've seen some of our videos, you also know that we love to set sail the virgin way. When you're surrounded by creativity, connection, and a bold atmosphere, you tend to become bold and fearless as well, and saying, I'm scared or I still hurt, especially after having jumped into a pool fully clothed on Scarlet Night, feels more like strength and less like an emotional free fall. So when you step outside your usual environment, like your daily stresses, your routines, and your triggers, something changes. Travel creates a kind of emotional bubble where you feel free to open up, say what's really on your heart, and have those conversations you've been avoiding.
Right.
So in a new place with fewer distractions and no expectations, many couples find that they can talk more honestly and listen more deeply. Right?
Yeah.
Travel definitely offers you a fresh perspective and emotional safety. You're not trapped in your usual roles of, mother, father, wife, husband. Well, wife, husband. You are, but mother, father, the hat you wear, your employee, employer, whatever those may be. You're just two people in a new place with a chance to reconnect without fear that being vulnerable will backfire.
Yeah. So if you made it this far, pause right here and really give thought about your answer. Can you tell your partner your deepest fear about your relationship? So Yolanda, you mind sharing a personal story?
Yeah, so I know we've said this before, but this is 7 years after the fact, but I do know that that's one that's been, I think I'm maybe like a 10 definitely when I found out, about your affair, and probably more so like a 4 now. But the moment I realized that you were still fighting for us was when we would have those very deep and hard and challenging, emotional conversations, and you started showing empathy and not getting defensive when I shared, like, okay, I'm scared. Are you going to do this again? What if you see her again? What if there's somebody else, and all the other, what, and the fears. But those were met with, again, empathy and not defensiveness.
Yeah, so on my part, deepest fear and showing vulnerability had to actually do with the actual physical acts. So sharing with you what some of those physical acts were, the questions that you were asking. In a previous video, you said, well, I only ask you the questions when you're prepared to ask me. But hearing that and then verbalizing what those were, I had visceral fear of, well, what might that mean if I share this with you? Am I saying too much? Will you leave me and be like, oh man, you did way too much? Right. So I'm glad we made it through those particular moments.
Right. So if you are ready to take the leap, the next time you travel, just try this exercise. Sit, facing each other.
Take a deep breath. It'll be okay.
Yeah, sit facing each other. You're on your hotel bed and make eye contact, and then each person share one thing that they're most fearful about sharing at that moment, right? So you don't have to fix it, you don't have to debate it, you don't have to discuss it further, from that moment on. Just commit to a time or circle back around and go back around to it. So maybe the next day you're going to watch the sunrise, or you're strolling on the beach, and that's when you really want to discuss what you shared. So if you don't have any plans to travel soon, go up the street, go to your favorite watering hole, or a park bench, or go to another hotel in your area, or sit in their lobby. It's not about obviously travel definitely has its benefits, but you may not be able to travel like that. So whether it's a hotel room while you're on vacation or somewhere up the street, the neutral environment removes those home-based triggers, while temporary nature makes it feel safer to be vulnerable.
Yeah. So the next time you're struggling to have a hard conversation, maybe what you really need is a change of scenery. Travel, as Yolanda was saying, whether it's up the street or around the corner, you're giving yourself the opportunity to speak freely.
So comment below, what's your biggest fear about being vulnerable with your partner? You never know, your story may help another couple heal.
Very well, unlock the healing for someone else.